Hey, hope you guys are having a great week. Happy Wednesday. Today I'm going to talk about how much digging we have to do in life. Because, we have buried treasures. We have relationships that are buried treasure. We have aspects in our relationships that are buried treasure. We have gifts and talents we didn't realize that we have that are buried treasure. We have things we feel about ourselves or things we've done that we should be giving ourselves credit for that are buried treasures. There's just so many things in our lives that are just underneath the surface. But if you don't do any digging, you never expose those things. I had no idea I was a writer or a speaker, or I don't spell well. I do not like to read. Who would have thought that I would be an author that has, 1 million books in circulation by the end of this year? Anyway, not me. I certainly didn't think that. And then when I got off drugs, I had to do the work of figuring that out, the digging. Listen, if the treasure was on the top of the hidden island or wherever you want to call it, if it was just out there exposed for everyone would have those treasures. Listen, the people of God have special treasures that are set aside for them. But if you're not willing to do the work, if you're not willing to do a little digging, if you're not willing to be quiet and listen and cultivate relationships or try this or try that and see if you're good at it, that's the digging. And if you don't do that digging, you'll never discover the treasures that God has for you. There are so many things that God wants to do in you and through you and in your relationships that will bring so much life to you, that will be such a treasure to you. Honestly, the relationship I have with my daughter and my grandchildren and daughter are moving. That's terrible for me. I don't feel happy about it, but I know that it's time for that to take place. But had I not had this 7 years of them living here and done the homeschool thing with them, my grandchildren during COVID and all that stuff, I would not have had the treasure of the relationship I had with them. I spent so many years not being there for my daughter and not being the kind of mom I should have been, that I had to do some digging. Look, there were some uncomfortable seasons in our relationship. There's still things she does or I do that the other one doesn't so much agree with. But we've gotten to the place where we have such a cool connection and such a cool relationship that we can respect that other person where they are. But that came with digging. That came with time. It wasn't something that was just like, oh, you got off drugs and you live in the same town as me, now everything's hunky-dory. No. We had to go, look, I hate when you do that. This makes me feel this way. Or I've said I'm sorry to you so many times. When are you going to actually forgive me? It took trial and error, and it took me spending time with my grandchildren and being the kind of grandmother that I should be for her to go, wow, my mom is important. My mom is trustworthy. This is a relationship I want to be involved in. That's the digging. And that's just one. I had to do the same thing with my parents and with the legal system. And, I have a great relationship with many police officers here in town because they know who I am and what I'm doing. When it used to be, I was hiding from the cops. And I didn't want them to know my name. You know what I mean? Now I'm giving them books and asking them if there's people that maybe I can help, that they can connect me with, or places I can speak. It changes everything in your life. Being where you are and who you're supposed to be changes everything. And then you have to do a little digging to get to the place where you've discovered what a treasure that is. You know, my life, honestly, I say it all the time. I feel like you could not have a better life than me. No, I don't have a lot of money. No, everything in my life is not all hunky-dory all the time. That's twice I used hunky-dory, geez. I'm trying not to cuss as much. Anyway, it is. It's stuff in my life isn't always what I would like it to be, but that doesn't matter. It's better than what it has been. And I have discovered such a valuable relationship with God, and the ebb and flow of that, the sandpaper, will you, of it, because sometimes it's rough and it's like, really, God, you want me to give up that? That seems ridiculous. What are you doing? And me having to get to the place where I trust him, and that takes some digging. It's worth it to do what's needed to be done to get where you need to be. There's a treasure in your life that you haven't discovered if you haven't done the digging. So get to digging. Talk to you next week. It's important that we have a reason to wake up every day. It's amazing. I've experienced it, and so can you. Take your feelings to him. He's good. You can do it. It'll make a difference.